Hey, let's talk about me going from Pitt to UMD. This is gonna be my second time doing this video. No, third time doing this video. The first two times went on for like 10 minutes. I just kept on yapping about the same thing over and over again. But I think the consensus I've come to is I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared about what's gonna happen. It's not a matter of me not having faith. I do think I have faith. That's gonna be super amazing. It's gonna be an awesome experience. A lot of cool things are gonna come out of it. I know it's gonna be really cool because I can't even think about what's gonna happen. And when I can't think of what's gonna happen, or when I can't predict that type of stuff, that's a good feeling that something really cool is gonna happen, I think. But it's really just a matter of it just boils down to faith. But I am scared. I am fully scared of the transfer. I think it's a scary time because I have no idea what's going on. For example, I don't even know what house I'm going to be living in. I don't know what classes I'm going to be taking. I don't know what's going to be like. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing on campus. I don't know what type of person I'm going to be on campus. And those are all stuff that I think, like, we're Pitt, I got to consider all of these stuff. So I got to visit Pitt a couple of times before I even got to the school. So I had a better idea of what stuff I didn't like, what stuff I didn't like, but I want to improve, what stuff I liked, the places I'll probably walk around, and even just having the idea of getting like an early glimpse of what the school was like. I was able to say, okay, this is kind of my mentality approaching this. With UMD, it's really just going to be a matter of when I get on campus, I'm in the water. Like, I don't know how to swim, but I'm just gonna be in the water. I'm just gonna have to learn how to fully swim by myself. But I guess with that knowledge, I technically it's just a matter of changing bodies of water. Even though I'm not familiar with this body of water or city or wherever, I've gone through this or a similar version of this in a sense. So it's not that crazy in its differences. But ultimately, I am scared. However, I am really excited. I think some other stuff that I really do want to consider, especially going to tomorrow, is that something I haven't been doing is telling the appropriate parties that I am transferring from Pitt. My biggest reason being that the whole housing thing not being guaranteed to some degree, I'll touch on that in a second, has left me with the impression that this transfer might not fully work out, especially with some credit stuff here and there. So if that does happen, I don't want to go. I don't want to be the person who says, "Hey, Pitt," and all these groups I'm a part of, like, with these leadership positions and all of that. I'm leaving. I'm gonna have to drop these all of these, but thank you guys for the opportunity. Then come back a day later and say, "Psych, that's not true," and just mess up all the stuff I've done at Pitt. So then it becomes like a lose-lose situation. Um, However, when it comes to housing, I think the issue, the reason I said I'll touch on it later, is because I'm being very picky with housing, right? And I just kind of want a studio apartment. I know that's a very childish picky thing to want. But in my defense, for my sophomore year at Pitt, I was gonna live as an RA with my own dorm, with my own bathroom, and have my own kitchen. Well, not my own kitchen, but a shared kitchen. So it's a really nice dorm. Over the summer, I got to live in a studio apartments. Like going to going to UMD. I'm tired of the acronyms. I've been saying so many acronyms recently. I'm going to UMD and have like significantly worse housing would kind of suck. But I don't think that's something I should really be concerned about as of this moment, especially considering I do live in Maryland. Um, but yeah, that's something that I think I should probably take into account. I think then if that's no longer a determining issue for me, I think the last one for me, or the last one that I would really have to overcome, is making sure the credits work really well together. I'm not too worried in that regard. I think I've looked at the credits in terms of computer science classes, and I think, yeah, most of my classes transfer over pretty well. Um, oh my days. I think that, yeah, I was looking. I never. Yeah, they transfer over pretty well. Um, so that's really good. That's good in itself. I should. Cause I've been saying this is my third time doing this video. I forgot to count for it. I didn't look at the transcript I had before. Like my fall transcript has already been sent to them because I applied in the fall semester. Um, so my spring transcript is the one that they're processing now to see what credits transfer over. But I've gone to look at the credits transfer between classes, and the classes I do want to transfer over have transferred over. Um, so I do have kind of an idea of how many credits I do have. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that's an issue. I think really now I talk about it, I think this I'm gonna get to this in a second, but now I talk about it, I think I'm able to just go to like the appropriate party and say, hey, I'm leaving Pitt without too much worry because I do think this transfer is becoming more concrete, even though I have no idea what it's gonna look like when I'm on campus or even when I'm on campus or what classes I'm gonna be taking. It is becoming a bit more concrete. I think it's right as of now, I'm really just operating as a selfish person who's letting fear dictate how I interact and respect those who have given me their trust. That was a really weird that was a really weird way to phrase it, but I think it gives an idea. Um, But to touch on what I want to say, to touch on what I wanted to touch on a second ago, I think what's really cool about Project Phillips is that I've gotten the avenue or the space or the outlet to kind of talk about stuff like this and allow me to process stuff. Because all the time when I go into these videos, there's no script. It's really just generating word after word. I feel like that's easy, really easy to tell with the mistakes I make. However, it is really helpful to kind of just be forced to talk to a camera and have like some intended audience behind it. And then by doing that, I have to actually say stuff that makes sense most of the time. And by doing that, I actually get to come in conflict or come in face to face with these ideas I have in my head, which can be very blurry and very confusing. However, once I'm face to face with them, I can see the flaws in them, I can see the strengths in them, and go from there. So especially with this transfer, I think doing this video, talking about it for like 30 minutes plus now, has been really, really helpful. So I'm really glad about that. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.